What's up, gang? Josh here, and you're watching Chimp Skills. And today I want to talk a little bit about philosophy, particularly Stoicism. So I didn't read any of this stuff by chance. It wasn't that I went and sought it out. I heard it on a podcast and I read it in other books. So I've been listening to a fair bit of Tim Ferriss's stuff lately, and if you've ever read any of his books, he likes to talk a lot about certain Stoic philosophers such as Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, Cato, those sort of guys. And I listened to the quotes, and some of them are actually sort of really insightful, and still, even though they were written hundreds or thousands of years ago, apply to today's interactions that we have day to day. Like it's really relevant, especially today more than ever probably. There's a couple that are really relevant. I just read one from Cato, which is found really good, which was, seeing the lightest and gayest purple was then most in fashion. He would always wear that which was the nearest black, and he would often go outdoors after his morning meal without either shoes or tunic. Not that he sought vainglory from such novelties, but he would accustom himself to be ashamed only of what deserves shame, and despite all other sorts of disgrace. So essentially, Cato refers to dressing down, or dressing a little bit like a hobo, and being comfortable with that shame that he felt because there wasn't a great deal of rationale that was associated behind that shame. And if he's going to feel shame of something, then it should be deserving of shame. And I've heard Tim Ferriss talk about this a fair bit on his podcast when he does like the mini episodes. You put yourself in a position where you may feel uncomfortable, or some of those societal norms may want you to feel embarrassed or ashamed. But in all likelihood, there's nothing you should really be ashamed of. Like if you're wearing shaggy clothes and you're dressed like a hobo, it doesn't really mean that much in regards to like the way you conduct yourself. It's purely just your appearance. So he would become really comfortable with feeling that shame. So if he was going to feel shame, it was for something that would legitimately warrant that. Like, if he'd wronged someone, or, if he'd done something that was just, not very nice. So that was really cool. And then also there's something that I want to listen to. I'm not going to read, I'm going to listen to an audiobook. And that's, I think it's the Letters to Seneca. So there's a couple that I've heard a few times, which is really cool. And that is basically living out your fears. So he refers to it as, say for instance, I think the quote is something like, for what you most fear, da 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 da. Essentially what he talks about is that, if you fear being hungry, then, he would regularly go on fast for sort of like 1 to 3 days. So he would have his body experience what it's like to go without food. And then when your body's lived through that experience and you're like, okay, is this what I most feared, was being hungry? So Tim talks about, going on a fast sort of once every month, going on a fast for like a full day, or every quarter he'll do like a 3-day fast, just so his body can go through and experience that. There's a bit of pain involved, but your body can get through it, and that way you're able to live through that experience, and you don't fear it any longer. So, it'll open up your mind to possibilities, what you're able to do without sort of being held back by that fear. And another one that he also talks about a lot is living on like a few dollars a day just to experience it for like a week. So he goes on a diet of like rice and beans. Again, a lot of us fear going broke or going without money. I know that's, something I think about. Like I grew up pretty poor, and having money around is sort of like, even though it's not something I really require, there's a bit of comfort involved in it. So there's a few things I want to tinker around with this. I definitely want to read some more about it, and get a bit more of an insight. But a lot of these philosophies, when you think about it, are written so long ago, yet they're so relevant today, especially around the fear stuff and the stuff that holds us back. Whether it is, not looking our best, looking shabby, going without food, which is like one of the basic needs that we have, or basically living a really simple lifestyle on the absolute sort of scarcest amount of money possible, just so we can experience some of the pain that's associated with those situations, but then let go of the fear, so we're not being held back by it, and it's not determining the decisions that we make going into the future. So few cool insights. If you want to check it out, have a look. I'm going to look at, I think it's Letters to Seneca, which is like a whole bunch of mini sort of stories. So I'll read it or listen to it and let you guys know how it goes. But give the video a like, guys, give it a share, and until next time, peace.